Here I am. We're doing my second Blackfoot fast in support of my Blackfoot brothers up in Alberta, Canada, who are sundancing this summer. The difference between the Lakota ways and the Blackfoot ways is that in the Blackfoot ways, they don't do a hamblacia. Hamblacia is the Lakota word for vision quest or crying for a vision. Before a sundancer in the Lakota way dances, he does a vision. He goes up on top of a hill all by himself for 4 days and fasts. No water, no food, and cries for a vision from spirit that will give him some guidance, some direction during his dance. The Blackfoot way, they fast twice a year to prepare for the Sundance. They generally camp together around a Blackfoot sweat lodge and around a campfire and keep those 4 days and sort of watch over each other and make sure that they're safe and that they're not drinking any water or eating any food. The Lakota way is a little different. You go up all by yourself and there's no contact with the world for 4 days. My Blackfoot brothers are currently doing their fast, and I'm close enough to them that I want to support them, which is a little bit unusual in this day and age with COVID. It's a little harder for them to get together and support themselves in a community around a lodge. A good friend of mine is doing it in his backyard. I'm doing it out here next to the fire pit and next to the pond here in this sacred spot. It's been my quote power spot for 14 years, 15, 14, 13 years, over a decade anyway. So what I'm doing is I'm fasting. I'm not drinking anything, I'm not eating anything. That doesn't mean that I can't talk to anybody. People can come by, they can talk to me, they can sit and they can visit in the Blackfoot way. In the Blackfoot way, when people were fasting, we used to go and support them in the lodge with them. So they can talk to people, and I can do social media. I can be on the computer. I can do work. I can do work while I'm fasting. I'm kind of playing around with some stained glass at the moment, and there's some other ceremonial stuff that I want to do as we go along. But we're in our first day. We've gone through our first night. So it could be said that yesterday was the first day, and then we go through the first night, so this is the second day. I think that's the way I did it last year. Nonetheless, it's significant. So I'm already feeling very hungry. Not thirsty so much. I can drink, I can smoke a pipe. And that's an interesting thing about this lodge, about this fast, and the way it came to me, the way I heard about it, and the way it kind of synchronistically happened. Obviously, Spirit's working, because if you've been following me, you know that I did one of these 6 months ago. And in that one, I was sort of feeling my way, trying to do it in a good and respectful way. And at that time, I was also working on a pipe. I did a video of me working on the pipe during that fast. I did a couple other videos too, and I don't see any problem with that during a fast. Now, Lakota Hamblacia, that would be a different thing, because you're going up there and you're kind of like totally doing sensory deprivation meditation work. The Blackfoot fast doesn't seem to be that. So I'm not feeling guilty or bad about working on doing these other things to occupy my time as the days go on. The whole point is to fast and not to eat, and that is to prepare for the Sundance when you fast and when you don't drink water and when you don't eat. It's a confidence building exercise. It's to help people to realize that they can do it. So this, in my previous fast, I was working on a pipe. I did a video about that. Since that time, the pipe has evolved. It's got a buffalo butterfly bush stem, and the bowl has been further refined, and I have been smoking tobacco in it. This is because it's intended to be a personal pipe, not a ceremonial pipe. If it was a ceremonial pipe in the Lakota way, I wouldn't smoke tobacco in it. I would be smoking the red willow bark, the chanchasa. So far, I've been called to smoke tobacco in it, and it has not technically or ceremonially been woken up, although it told me that it was okay for it to be smoked in the tobacco way, in the personal pipe way. This is an L pipe as opposed to the ceremonial pipe, which is a T shape. The L shape means that it's a social pipe to be smoked socially, a personal pipe, but also that I'm single and that I'm not in a relationship. Found out these two little interesting details recently. So the fire was lit ceremonially last night by me, by calling in the spirits and with this pipe. Actually, I used this pipe. The fire ran last night for a while, and then I transferred the flame from the fire to a candle, and then took the candle in my trailer over there. Spent the night in the trailer, but the candle stayed lit all night long. Then I got up this morning, came out, took the candle flame and lit the fire from it. So the fire has been lit continuously throughout the fast so far, and that is my goal. That's one of the goals of the Hamblacia, is to have a fire tender supporting you and keeping that fire going the entire time you're up on that hill. But in the Blackfoot fast way, the same thing. There's a fire going continuously. So that's central to the ceremony that's happening, and I'm going to keep myself confined within the boundaries of the ceremony as much as I can. And the main way to do that is by keeping the spirit of the fire alive. I'm actually going to try to do yoga a little later. But now what I'm going to do is the good thing about being able to smoke tobacco in the pipe, that is allowed during a fast. So smoking cigarettes is allowed in the fast. It's allowed in the Sundance, as a matter of fact. And that's to keep your energy up. So I'm actually feeling the craving. I'm going to load the pipe up in the ceremonial way by calling in the directions to smoke with me, and then I am going to smoke it and see if I can get my energy level back up. But we're on day 2. Let's call it day 2 of my Blackfoot fast in October 2020. My practice has been growing and evolving very strongly, very quickly, as a matter of fact. Almost exponentially. So I was just thinking, just sitting here smoking my pipe and sitting at the ceremonial fire and thinking back how long it's been since I picked up the pipe. And it's been about 3.5 years now. Next summer it'll be 4 years. What I'm finding in this fast is that I'm really comfortable just carrying the pipe. Just hold the pipe while I'm fasting, while I'm in ceremony. It's very comfortable. This pipe is very comfortable, and I'm finding that it's got a different personality from the ceremonial pipe. The ceremonial pipe is in my medicine bag right there, called the wasishun. That bag is evolving too. Up until recently, up until the last week or so, that I kept my pipe and my medicine in a plastic briefcase. But I guess I've outgrown that. I felt the call to put it in this nice leather suitcase that I've had for a while. And I've got all of my medicine in there. The ceremonial pipe, and all of my other medicine, well, most of my other medicine. And then also, I was just recently gifted with a Blackfoot pipe, a Blackfoot ceremonial pipe, as a matter of fact, by a Blackfoot elder. And since I'm not as familiar with the Blackfoot ways as I am with Lakota ways, I asked her, you know, how do I go about having this pipe woken up? And she said, you can wake that pipe up. So I've been pondering that, praying on that a bit too. So actually what I have with me right out here is I have the personal pipe that I've been working on, and that's just been starting to be smoked, and which is driving this particular ceremony. But then I have the other two pipes here too. And I have the pipe rack from my first Sundance 3.5 years ago. Same Sundance where my ceremonial pipe was woken. They gifted me with the pipe rack after the dance, so I have that. And it's part of my medicine. I've been studying a lot recently, and Black Elk talks about the pipe rack, and Black Elk calls it the meat rack because it's the same thing as the rack that they use to dry their buffalo meat on. So they call it the meat rack. And in the early days, they just took their meat rack, put it there, and then leaned their pipes against it. And he says that the meat rack should be painted blue. So I've got some blue paint over there, and the pipe rack, I'm going to paint that blue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the meat rack here in front of the fire and lean my pipe on it. And then what we'll do is we'll ceremonially load the other pipes too. The Lakota ceremonial pipe, Sundance pipe, and also the Blackfoot pipe for the first time. I'm listening to Spirit about what to do about the Blackfoot pipe, and I think it's going to be part of this ceremony, this 4-day fast. So I'm going to set up the pipe rack, and I'm going to make use of that, and we're going to put the pipes on that, and then we'll be going from there. It feels really comfortable with this pipe. This pipe is feeling really comfortable to me, and that really surprises me, because my teacher, my pipe teacher, told me that the ceremonial pipe, the Sundance pipe, wouldn't be the pipe that I would use all the time. It wouldn't be my only pipe. And I was a little skeptical when he told me that. But now I'm realizing that the Sundance pipe, that ceremonial pipe, is a special pipe. That's the one, that's the sacred pipe. And that's the one that we keep safe and pure and secure. And we would only bring that out when it's really needed for a ceremonial purpose. If I really needed to pray badly. I've been using it as my exclusive pipe up until this point, over 3 years, 3.5 years now. But now I'm seeing that the personal pipe, the social pipe, can fill some of these other duties and leave the ceremonial pipe be, sleeping. But I think I'm gonna wake it up in this ceremony. We're gonna transfer the power from that ceremonial pipe, which was woken up in the Sundance, in the Lakota way, in the Oglala way, and we will transfer the spark from that to this pipe, basically waking this pipe up. I'll do that with some steam, with a hot rock, a tonkin. And once I've woken this one up and transferred the energy, I'm not transferring the energy from the other pipe, but I'm linking this pipe to the other pipe. My ceremonial pipe is linked to the White Buffalo Calf pipe. It was done at Sundance, so I can link this pipe up with that, and then this pipe then becomes Wakan in the same way as the ceremonial pipe, but I'm still using it in a social way. Keep the ceremonial pipe away, and then the Blackfoot pipe can be linked to the White Buffalo Calf pipe too. And so I'll do that when I wake it up. So I'm going to be waking up 2 pipes. This pipe has asked me to smoke it, but it hasn't been ceremonially woken. But once that's done, it will become more Wakan, and I think the Blackfoot pipe is telling me that it wants to be woken in the same way. There are a couple of themes to this fast. The fast that I did 6 months ago, I did a lot of pondering during that fast, a lot of introspection, a lot of meditation. One of the things that I meditated on in that fast was what I called the themes of the fast. When I do a hamblacha or a fast, there's usually a theme that evolves. It's like there's issues. There's issues that are arising. There's issues that I'm praying about. There's issues that I'm asking for help with, and I'm currently trying to clarify what those issues are this time. I think one of the issues has to do with there's lots of issues right now, because there are issues with all of us, and this is one of the ways that we learn to cope with it, is by doing ceremony in this way. But one of my issues has to do with currently the question of unconditional love and compassion. Practicing that. This is something that the Dalai Lama prescribes, and it's something that Ram Dass talks about a lot, and it's something that I have seen as the goal of my sun dancing, is to learn to practice unconditional love. Hey dude, what's going on, man? The spirit dog arrives. So and even with him, he's been real whiny lately, and I need to, and at the moment he's feeling lonely because his mom isn't here, and he's been howling, and my initial reaction was, get over it, dude. But I realized that, and I think this is spirit talking to me, I realized that really what I need to do is practice some unconditional love with him, and let him know that, you know, his mom's not here, but I'm here. He's not alone. He doesn't need to be whining and howling like that. Instead of being like a strict dad, I can be a brother to him. Now, there are a lot of current issues in our world and in our community, our larger community nowadays, and a lot of it has to do with social activism and what they call white privilege, what they call Black Lives Matter, what they call the women's movement, the Me Too movement. In particular, what I've been seeing is the women feel like now they're empowered to strike out at the injustices that they feel that they've had to endure for years and years. And I get that. That they need to wake us men up about that, and that we need to be more cognizant of it. But the fact of the matter is, in the larger scheme of things, in the balanced way, we are both here together. And it's not a matter of patriarchy versus matriarchy. It's about both of us working together in a balanced way and learning to do that, and with mutual respect, and to work together. That's the way it always was, and that's the way it should be. So the push for women to take over and express their wokenness is, to me, misguided. And one of the ways that that's reflected is in some of the women have interesting phrases that they use that have their own meaning to them. One of them, I was listening to a video the other night by Sadhguru, and Sadhguru was addressing the Harvard Medical School, and he was using the word relationship, and he was making some comments about the interesting way that the English people use the word relationship. Relationship implies or connotes something different from the actual word. I mean, women will say, I'm in a relationship. And I have long felt that that's kind of a strange thing, because we're all in a relationship. The Lakota motto, Mitako Ayasi, means we are all related. We are all connected. All my relations. They address all of their relations. When they pray, it's called Wochekia. Literally, the translation of that word is, I'm addressing my relations. So to say I'm in a relationship is sort of redundant and almost trivial, because you're in a relationship with everything. You're in a relationship with everything around you. You're in a relationship with spirit. Yeah, I'm in a relationship. I can be in a relationship with you too. Well, we don't even have to say that we're in a relationship, because we just are with everybody in one way or another. That's an interesting use of the word. Women have a special understanding of what they think the word means. And I think men hear it and they understand it. At least this man does. I understand what they're saying, but I can be a little skeptical and a little critical of their use. And using discernment can suggest that we need to think about what we're doing and understand it in a broader picture. Another phrase that's used is I don't want to give my power away, or I'm not giving my power away. Well, in my teachings, the word power is what we describe as our own spiritual personal power, and that's what I cultivate in this ceremony. In these ceremonies is developing my own power as a hollow bone, purifying myself as a hollow bone, so that power can fill me up from spirit. That's what I'm asking for. That's what I'm praying for. I'm praying for Tankashala to fill me up with power, and that power is then goes into a reservoir, my own power reservoir, and that's what I can use to heal people with. And on top of that, there's the importance of what we call the giveaway. It's more important to give away your most prized possessions than to hoard things in a materialist, attached way. And attachment is an important word too, because that's something that in Hinduism they see as a vice. They try to seek non-attachment, try not to be attached to material things. So to say I'm not giving my power away is almost antithetical to these teachings. It's almost the exact opposite of what you should be doing. You should be thinking about giving your power away and giving away everything you've got unconditionally. And when you do that, you're going to heal people, you're going to heal others, you're going to demonstrate that you're related to them in a humble way, and then your power is filled right back up, and in fact you get more than you had before. That's my objection to the whole notion of I'm not going to give my power away. There's another one similar to that, but I have a teacher. He's a Franciscan monk, but he's also a black man, and he and I see pretty eye to eye about these things. In fact, I consider him to be my teacher. He's certainly reinforcing my own ideas about these things. I'm sorry, there's a hawk flying over there. The other issue is white privilege, and so the young social activists are very hot on the topic of white privilege, and for us all to realize that we have white privilege and how it's ingrained in the culture and in the government and all of that, and of course that's good to look at, good to understand, but the solution to it is not just to make white people feel guilty or point fingers or blame. The point is to express how we are all brothers and sisters regardless of what our color is. Our color really doesn't have anything to do with anything because we're all related. That should be, in my view, the real point of what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish. And when we teach seminars and workshops on the topic of white privilege and trying to guilt white people, make people feel guilty and bad because they're white, and because of something that their ancestors or their parents or their grandparents might have done, that's misguided to me. That's not healing. There has to be repentance and there has to be forgiveness for healing to take place. And so we are We are misplacing our energies. We are misdirecting our energies by concentrating on these things, like making people feel guilty about their white privilege, and then saying that we're not going to give our power away. These kinds of things. These are the issues that are running round and round in my head during this fast, and they're the ones that I'm going to be praying about, and I'm going to see if I can come to some kind of understanding of what Spirit wants me to do about that, or say about that, or how to react about it, or not react. Keep my mouth shut. In the current climate, some people call it PC climate. If you speak up about these things, you're considered to be a grumpy old man, or a boomer, or whatever they want to label you as. And that doesn't make it right. So I'm going to cut this off now. We're going to do a little yoga here a little later, but I am doing this pipe project, and we'll see how this all goes. Oh, Mataku Yasin, and in Blackfoot, Oki Nixakoya.